Okay, you were saying, Miles, about the 24 hours of programming for the block
Yeah,
party.
I was just thinking your news conference approach for the K-Mama app,
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing at some point um, for your 24-hour collective intelligence block party.
Mm.
In order to say, hey, we are looking for people. We've got a 24-hour channel. We want your content. Submit a little blurb. Submit to us like a press release, and we'll carve you out a slot on the 24-hour block party. And just taking that worldwide was like, well, gee. So I guess what I'm saying is, do you need to have a promotional push or promotional initiative
For the block party?
for the block party to get the content?
Well,
I'm just suggesting. I don't know. Like I checked out after. It was probably from 7 my time till 4 p.m. 1600. I was on for about 9 hours, which is a
yeah,
lot for me.
yeah.
And so then you filled in 15 hours without me. It's like, oh my God. Hello, Ronald, you're back.
Welcome back, Ron.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was getting close to the end, and therefore it just clipped out like you said it did. So
yeah, well, here at the 24-hour mark, because I start the block party a few minutes before 6 a.m.
Yep.
So at exactly 24 hours, Zoom boots everybody out.
Boots everybody out.
Now you can come right back in, but it's just an automatic boot out after 24 hours. Right.
That's okay, because it's about 9 o'clock now too, and I know you need to get more rest, and I really have enjoyed chatting with you guys this morning.
Yeah, likewise, Ron. Please keep coming.
Yeah, really interesting to hear your discoveries over time and sharing those things. You were saying at the very end, we're all one. We do have to come together. And the thing is, we need to do this nonviolent communication. We have some very difficult topics to discuss. It's like we're talking about matriarchy versus patriarchy, or at least how do we harmonize those? No, that's pretty heavy stuff. Oh.
Yep, it is.
It's 7 o'clock.
In the Mankind Project, and if you're a regular ongoing participant, you're really encouraged, and you really have to. You can't be part of the community without doing it. You have to have a mission. And my mission there is to make my world beautiful, exciting, and safe by loving.
Beautiful.
And, then we have a shadow mission that you come up with that, and it is I create chaos by blaming and shaming. And so anyhow, it's a worthwhile organization. It's mkp.org is the organization that I've been part of since let's see, when was it? 1985. So anyhow.
Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you what.
I'm going to bid you guys bye at this point, but I'm going to come back.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Ron. You too,
Love
sir.
You.
Thanks so much.
Be good.
Have a good weekend. You too. See you soon. All righty. Well, it's time to do our traditional countdown. It doesn't mean we hang up at the end necessarily, but just to mark the 24-hour mark. You gentlemen ready? All right. Following 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo!
Woo!
Block party number 12. 288 hours of block party. Halfway through the next one, we're at the 300-hour mark. As I mentioned earlier, if this were a flight training school, we'd be flying 747 jumbo jets to Hong Kong, right?
Very good.
And there is a degree of mastery here, right? We're mastering and we're pioneering long format collective intelligence where we go deep, 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 as deep as we need to go.
Well, and I don't want to impose upon anyone, but James, your Stephanie did such a great job making a couple of advertisements for the block party. And, wow, it just shows you the treasure trove of really fascinating bits of information that are locked up in the previous 12 block parties, right? And there's dead time in between some of the conversations, but boy, there's some gems in there. And Stephanie does a great job in revealing those things. She's like an archaeologist digging in there, and then, oh, look at this here. Look at what I found. And then she makes a little advertisement out of it, and it's like, boom, the thing just like pops. So, wow, just Stephanie, you're amazing. You did a great job, and hope you keep digging around in there and pull out some of these things. Because then, that string them all together, and maybe she could create a block party documentary out of it.
Well, I appreciate that, Miles, and I know Stephanie does as well. She's heard you last night as well mention that. She just has that knack anyway when it comes to filmmaking, and that's her business. That's the line she's into. But I think it was more so Stephanie. She loves coming to the block party now, but like others, she chooses her sections. And because she have other things to be getting on with in the day as well, and different things as people do. So she, unlike myself, no, I don't have a lot to be doing that I can't do tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or get done yesterday so that I make room for this time for today, like that kind of thing. But you don't expect everyone to do that. But just in the amount of times that Stephanie has joined in on the block parties, that first advertisement. Like with Jackie mainly doing the narrating of it, that was, as Jackie said herself last night, that was a conversation that Stephanie had been partaking in. And she said that what Jackie said resonated with her so much and touched her so much that that's what, it just brought it up, it brought the advertisement to her head then straight away. And, likewise with Jamin as well, which is, trying to get the idea of the collective intelligence into people's heads, and how not only how important it is, but the uniqueness of it, and the fact that why didn't we think of this all along? As I said, and as James said, this is what the internet should have been invented for. You know what I mean? For collective intelligence to come together to make the world a better place. You know what I mean? But I suppose sometimes we have to go down different rabbit holes.
Well, instead it became this massive commercial marketplace for selling more shit, right?
Exactly. It's always money that comes into it at the end, but look where the money is after getting us now, you see. This is the point. We went down that rabbit hole, and all that led to is the destruction of the planet and our possible futures. You know what I mean? So we need to get out of that rabbit hole now, go back and find the right one. And this is it, and that would be an answer. I'm sorry I didn't answer the question. That would have been an answer to why I'm here. and why a lot of people are drawn here is because we are after backing out of that first rabbit hole, and we're looking for the right one, the right answers, to do the right things. This is it, simple and plain, right? Your vision is your vision, Jim, but it's the right vision. You found the right rabbit hole as far as I'm concerned, like, and that's why I'm following you down there, and we'll continue. You know what I mean, Stephanie? I wish you'd be able to put more time into it, but I can only speak for myself, but I also know that there's a lot of time put into that as well, in a sense. So she has lots of other things going on at the moment. You know what I mean? And and other, both personal and ideas.
Let her know that it was those advertisements. The one with Jackie, that advertisement, I sent it to Khushbu of India, and that no doubt played an important role in her, Khushbu, joining us. I also sent the advertisement to another friend. Her name is Tracy, and she says she'll be on next week. She's from Ireland. She's from the forget which county, and her partner is also from Ireland, and she was going to join, but her dog had an injury, so she couldn't join on the Divine Feminine Hour. But anyway, again, I sent that advertisement to both of them, and I think because it's very impactful and quick, and it's like, oh wow, okay, so they were encouraged to buy it to join. So we've got to put those. I'll continue to use those advertisements, both of them, to say, because that's what is needed, right? More people joining and taking advantage of getting a slot on the block party and telling us about who they are and what they're up to.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%. I'm not being rude now or anything, lads. I'm still here, but I want to eat this, so.
Okay, you go right ahead.
Yeah, eat up, James. Eat up.
So yeah, lots of and Emery has done a great job too. He dabbles in it, but the more he puts together his videos, it's just a great thing. It's all positive.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably ready to shut her down, no doubt. It's 24 hours. But the difference is you did have some breaks.
Yeah, I have a standing break now. We've been doing it 3 block parties in a row where I break from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Good.
But, the first 9 block parties, I didn't have that. And, I think the 3 prior to implementing this current plan was I would take like a nap in the afternoon or something, and that would help. But like the first 7 or so, 6 or 7, I essentially didn't have a break.
No.
And it was crazy. And it was just like pushing through and pushing through and pushing through. But it works out so much better to have a break. Oh my goodness. And it works well because, Nolan, he gets from 9 to 2. Look, you can stay up till 2 in the morning if you have to, right? Maybe you drink a cup of coffee or 2, maybe, or whatever, but you can power through, and then you go to bed. You sleep as late as you want. It's Saturday morning. So, but Nolan was smart. He also took a nap prior to his 9 o'clock shift, right? So anyway, it's working well. It's working very well.
I think the thing too, that we promote and is unique about the block party is to say to people, here's an opportunity for you to use Zoom to hone your skills in some way, whatever that might be. But everybody's welcome, and you can just be yourself, and there's no judgment, and it will strengthen you. You could grab a slot of time, 5 minutes, half hour, a whole hour, and be the producer of your own little Zoom segment. Just test it. Just try it out. And share your story. What is it you're up to? Like Ronald was asking me, like, who are you and what are you doing and why?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Great opportunity. Come on down to the block party.
Yeah.
That's a very nice painting of James. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think James painted that.
Yeah, lots of colors there.
Mm-hmm.
Takes you out into nature.
You can't really tell. Is that a line of people or a line of trees that goes left or right?
One sec. It's yeah. If you look at the foreground there, the brown in the foreground on the lower end of the painting, you're actually standing on a like a bracken field up on top of a cliff. It's up on the old Sheep's Head down in West Cork, down near Bantry, and you're standing up on the cliff and you're looking down over. So they're just rows of trees around the separate farmers' fields and the little different divisions in the field as well. There's across the bay from the trees, then you will see slightly there's little white dots. See, that painting is actually 6 feet wide by 3 feet high. So it does, you'll see the detail better. I'm not getting a lot of it in there. But the little white lights, the little white lights then are just the lights of the little town that's down below there. And there's another town across the bay from that then as well. So it's a beautiful scene from Bantry, and I painted it from an image that I saw, a photograph that I saw on Google Images, because I was painting it as a gift to a friend of mine that was in the choir that I used to sing in, and he was after doing me. He was very, very. He helped me out very. He was a doctor, and he helped me get some tests that I needed and everything else, and the rest without going into that. But it was a thank you present for his. Their surgery below, and so it's hanging in the surgery down in Mitchelstown in the main entrance hallway near the waiting room. It's 6 foot wide by 3 foot high. So,
wow, that's terrific. And we, as I told you, in the summer of 2018, we went to Ireland because my wife, her mother was from Roscommon County, and we visited a lot of her family, and we drove all around Ireland, and seems to me we stopped in Bantry and we had lunch there. If I'm not mistaken, there's a little park right next to the little town center, and you can walk through the trees and right over to the water's edge. And it's just a gorgeous little park with all these trails. I'm thinking that was Bantry. Beautiful place, lovely. I would really like to see the full 6 foot wide version of that someday.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'd say you were probably on about Bantry there, all right, and West Cork and Kerry area. Like, Bantry is like literally on the edge of West Cork, and across the bays it would be Kerry. So that would be kind of looking across at Kenmare over the other side of the harbour there.
Okay.
To the left of the painting there, you see that part that's cut out. it's like an inlet coming into the estuary there, like, so the sea is out to the left, and the towns.
And that one comes into the town?
Comes into both towns on both sides of Bantry Bay. So on one side you have Bantry Bay, the side I'm on, and it's called the Old Sheep's Head Trail. It was what I was on, the Old Sheep's Head Trail.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's looking from that then across over towards Kenmare and places like that, and in Kerry. But yeah, it's definitely some of the most beautiful country in Ireland is West Cork and Kerry, like, with no doubt about it. Like. Northern Ireland has some beautiful parts as well, of course. Like I haven't been to a lot of them myself. I think to be honest, I haven't been to any. Donegal is I got as far as like. But I love the west coast of Ireland. It's just scenery is spectacular.
Yes, it is. It was
And
very,
and the people.
very beautiful.
And the people.
Let me show you something here. Talking about art. My daughter is an aspiring artist, and this is Inch Beach. You know Inch Beach in Ireland?
I do. Inch Strand, we call it. Because it's such a long strand. The beach goes on for 3 miles or something like that, isn't it?
Right, yeah, Inch Strand, exactly. We stayed a couple of nights nearby, and they really, you see, I'm in Alberta, which is landlocked. So my kids, when they get to see the ocean, it's magical for them. So they, and she painted this from a photograph she took looking out across the bay there. It's a beautiful long beach, Jamin. I don't know, a couple miles.
She's captured it beautifully, and the blending of colours in the sky and the strand and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, definitely. I mean, I can see it. I can actually see that with my little nieces and nephews sitting in the foreground of that now with that view behind them. I'll send you the photographs if you want.
Sure, and I'll show it to Alicia so she'll appreciate that you appreciated her art.
Yeah.
Because when we go on holidays in the summer, our family have a tradition of not going abroad at all. Our sun holidays, we were never ones into chasing sun holidays. We prefer to go camping down in Kerry and bring the kids camping and show them how to, enjoy the countryside. And they love the ideas. We know a farmer down there, and he lets us stay on his property, and it's safe for the kids and everything else. We're completely in our own 11 and a half acres with a bit of a river going through it and everything else, but surrounded by mountains and not far from any part of the coast and all that. But the kids absolutely love it, and I'll send you some of those photographs. Absolutely.
I'd really appreciate it. My wife would really appreciate it. She loves Ireland, because her mother unfortunately passed away about 20 years ago as a relatively young person. I think she was only 65. So my wife Gina is very attracted to Ireland, because of its connection with her mother and her mother's family. They're still, unfortunately, as we all get older, and the parents and the aunts and uncles all get older, and they're passing away now. She just lost an aunt who lived up in the Roscommon area, and she still has an uncle Eddie in this little town up there. And then there's lots of younger ones, the next generation. There's numerous cousins and such, and second cousins. So likewise, I'll send you a few photos in return of our visit to Ireland. That'd be great to share.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah. Likewise, I understand where you're coming from, because on my mother's side of the family, her uncles, like extended family, that would be cousins and uncles. A lot of them immigrated to America a long time ago. Like, And I would be talking about my mother's uncles now, like, which would make them my great-granduncles and things like that. Actually, one of them, but the sad thing about it, we did, like, as my mother moved away from Limerick, where she was born and raised, in a sense, when she moved to Cork and married my father and, settled here, she not only kind of lost touch with a lot of her own family, apart from occasional visits, but obviously those that emigrated, it was harder to be in touch with them back then. And people didn't have, home phones and things like that, and so it was by mail mostly. And people get caught up in their lives, and as you said, it's a generational thing. Once that one generation goes, the second generation doesn't know a whole lot about who they are or where they came from. In a sense, they have a small idea, I suppose. My uncle Morris, he only passed away there. Well, it was 2006 now, I think he passed away, but he was 106 years old.
Wow.
And he had all his faculties, and he had all his family around him over in New Jersey. He actually was the district attorney in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, is it Orange County, New Jersey? Is there an Orange County, New Jersey?
There's an Orange, New Jersey, probably in Orange County, but there's certainly a town of Orange. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where he was from. But yeah, his son is a judge. That's why his son is Edward Kirby. He's a Supreme Court judge. No, Morris was as well. Like, I think he's a High Court judge, anyway, at least or something. But we lost touch with all those family a long time ago. I only know stories of them from what my mother told me. I met my uncle, my great-granduncle Morris, when I was about 10 years of age when he came and visited the house here. He actually he discussed it with my mother. He wanted to take me to America. He singled me out, being the youngest of the family, and he said, I could take this lad is bright, and I could take him over. He could make a lawyer or a solicitor of him, or he saw he saw an opportunity, I suppose, which they all did, like, was maybe help somebody out or whatever, like in the family, or give him a boost or whatever. That's the way he saw it. But I'm just glad it didn't work out that way anyway myself, like, because I refused anyway. I was given the opportunity and I refused. So, we all have our.
Did you come from a big family? Like my wife's mother, her family were, I think, 9 children, and they lived in a little house, little side-by-side row house in Castlereagh. Do you know Castlereagh? Have you ever heard of Castlereagh?
I have, yeah, I do know it.
So, and they lived in a little house, like one, I think it might even been an outhouse at one time. The toilet was just outside the house. And so the oldest one, when she was 14, they're kind of like pushed out of the nest, right? At a fairly young age compared to today. And she came over, some of them came, I think they came over, the first batch actually went to the United States. And then one stayed in Connecticut, and then others came up to eventually into British Columbia. But it was half of the siblings came to North America and half stayed in Castlereagh area, is my understanding. So yeah, there's this division of families and a lot of stories of the Irish people, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely interwoven, like, you know what I mean, that way. Like, anyone I've ever met that I've met from either America or Canada, 9 times out of 10 they have relations or distant relations from Ireland anyway. Actually, one of my good friends that I met when I was in college there a couple of years back, Jacinta, she's from Canada herself, and she came over and she studied fine art here in Ireland for the 4 years and got to get her degree here. And yeah, she all her family were Murphys. It turns out she's a descendant of Murphys from somewhere in Cork. She wasn't sure, but it was ironic because my father's families are come from Murphys as well. I know I'm Desmond. My father was Desmond, but his mother was Murphy. If you get me, so his father was Desmond, but his mother was Murphy, and they all came from Whitechurch. But yeah, massive families. We were actually a small family on our road. I'm the youngest of 7 siblings, and that was a small family on my road. We rose a house. The largest
Wow.
house had 4 bedrooms, but some of the families had 18 kids. You know what I mean? So, and the adults. Actually, my daughter's mother was the youngest of her family, and there was 21 of them in the kids in the house. 21 of them in the house with parents, and that was because she had 18 passed away, given in childbirth to twins, and
Wow.
so she already had a set of twins and a boy as well beside that. So that was 5 kids she passed away with, 5 kids. But yeah, her sister, which would be Stephanie's grandmother, even though she had 18 kids in a small house, a 4-bedroom house, small house though, as you know. She had 18 kids of her own, and she took the 3 eldest kids. Yeah, they were young, like, but she took them, and her sister, who was living in America, took the 2 babies to America, then the twins.
Maybe
Yeah.
they, this fable, the story, the old woman in the shoe. Sounds like maybe they based the story on her.
I don't know how they done it anyway, like, but I mean, a lot of families had up to 20 kids in the house, like, and 3 bedrooms to share them in. You know what I mean? You can imagine. And yet, you know what? They were the happiest of fucking days. Like, I mean, our childhood out there on that road was, I know it was another lifetime away, but it was another lifetime of experiences as well. Just our road alone, like, was like a unique road in the Ballyhan area, you know, in the greater Ballyhan area. We were actually known as our road is called Green Downey Place, off of Friars Walk. But we were actually known as Hungry Hill because it was like just a whole road full of hungry kids.
Wow,
So
Hungry Hill. Oh man, I think it would be terrific, if you would be so inclined, but it's up to you. But it would be terrific to hear your story about the Hungry Hill experience. And I don't know if you have photos or anything, but maybe someday you might put together a little slideshow for us on the block party, because it just sounds fascinating. It's a real unique story that would benefit people to hear, because we don't see that so much anymore. But it's important to talk about these things and revisit them, and we can return to these times if we want to. That's what I guess we're collective intelligence. If it's for anything, it's to, as Ronald was saying, make a better world, right? And there's difficult times, no doubt, serious times, and there's shadow and everything, but there's a lot of light. Talking about shadow and light, I think Jamin needs some shadow and some shut.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of retreating to another world,
Yeah.
I'm gonna retreat to the bedroom and
Okay, my friend, and I've got to go too. And James, I look forward to swapping some photos back and forth.
no bother. I'll email them. I'm expecting someone delivering some grub there to me in a minute now. So
Okay, you
All
guys
right.
take care. I'll see you next week.
Great to see you guys. Thank you both so much for putting in the long hours and all the creativity and good feeling. It's what's making this block party amazing. So thank you both. And thanks to everyone. All right. We'll see you next time. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. All right.
soon.
Take care, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. See ya.